You know when the night comes and you're scared out of your mind because you just saw this really scary movie and all you can imagine around you are all the ghosts and demons that were just in that movie? You know that you've just been scared shitless, and that's exactly what happened to me when I saw Insidious.
Stuff we like.
Now, I saw Insidious in the early afternoon, so I had hours to just chill out and forget about this movie, but I couldn't. It just seeped into my head and wouldn't get out. This movie is by the makers of both Saw and Paranormal Activity, so I kind of expected it to be good, but I wasn't entirely sure on which sort of route it would go, because these movies and franchises are extremely different from one another. Paranormal Activity is more of a imagination movie, whereas Saw is a much more visual and graphic movie. Insidious is a movie that falls somewhere in between those lines, and it definitely is good at building up tension. Ultimately, this whole ghost haunted house story has been told for decades now with films, and ultimately it's been done before, right? But they've somehow found a way to reinvigorate it all and make it really exciting and entertaining to watch. Right from the beginning of the movie, I was kind of hooked in. It wasn't like a horrific scare or anything, but it was this is gonna be a cool movie. I got that sort of vibe going. And then they go ahead and show the title sequence of Insidious, and that font that they use with the eyes that have these sort of devil points to them, and this flame sort of background that they have going on. It was really cool. And then, of course, the violins that they go, and the really high-pitched squealing sound just got to me. I was like, sick. And then they start off the intro credit sequence, which is kind of like an animated version of the house where they have chairs moving across in the sequence, and you kind of ultimately try and spot what's wrong in the scene. Is there a demon in the background, or is something going on in the foreground, And this ultimately is like a Where's Waldo game, where you're focusing in on the frame and trying to spot what's wrong with it. So this is really cool because it prepares you on what to expect in this movie. The minute that the real scare horror scene happens with the first ghost that you see, I nearly jumped out of my seat. I mean, I was the one in the audience who gasped. I was like a little girl, alright? I admit it, at least. The reason why I did that was because I just didn't expect it. Again, it was all about this sort of tension and stuff, but the way that the film begins ultimately after that credit sequence is that it's really kind of a slower paced film where it's here's the family. Everything is fine. Yeah, I mean, not everything's perfect. This family could be a little bit better, but they're still, they're holding together. And then as the days keep on passing, their encounters with these visitors keeps on getting worse and worse. And ultimately, it just builds up and builds up until this one moment with the ghost, and then, yeah, I shouted. Anyway, so that is really where the movie takes a turn for this really dark and twisted, crazy world. What made this movie even more memorable for me was the third act of this film. This really stood out to me in so many regards because I've played games like Alan Wake as well as BioShock, and if you've played either one of these games, you've got to see this movie because it's like seeing that sort of video game world come to life on this silver screen. It is that crazy and just mind-blowing. I was on the edge of my seat, and all I could say was, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, as I rocked back and forth. It's this is Alan Wake. No, now it's BioShock. Oh my god, this is so cool! And mind you, also, I was still shitting bricks because I was extremely scared at the same time. The tagline for this film is, "The house is not haunted, the boy is," huh? I mean, it's kind of what does that mean exactly? And I did see the trailer before I saw this movie, and it just didn't prepare me for what this film ultimately became, and I was just so surprised and shocked by it all. And I really think that this is the perfect film that you can go see with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, because you will be holding hands throughout the entire movie and just dying, alright? So this is perfect for y'all. Insidious comes out on April 1st, so when you get the opportunity to watch it, make sure to come back to this video and leave a comment below about what your thoughts are. And if you have any questions as well, leave your comments below, alright? So take care and subscribe to this channel for more movie reviews.